I'm Josh Glazer.
And today we are talking about the Green Bay Packers. Where the cheeseheads at?
Go
Yeah,
Pack Go.
yeah. So, man, where do we begin, man? They have one of the, aging quarterback, great quarterback, great running backs, good offensive line, and yeah, man. So, but we do see ways that they can improve, right? So, like, I know we were just talking. You were saying that slot cornerback and receiver, you know.
Yeah, they're an interesting case because they don't have a ton to address, but they're very specific of what they need, and they could actually draft multiple people at both positions because just the depth is really important to those two positions. The first position on offense is wide receiver, and
Mhm.
when I say wide receiver, it's kind of a loose term. It's more offensive weapon. It's kind of guys that you can the ball to and just start making plays. It's what they kind of lack at this point. Ever since they've lost Randall Cobb was the last time they had a guy like this. So maybe if they go early, they only have 3 picks in the top 100, which is about normal. They have 30, 62, and 94. So at 30, a guy like Laviska Shenault would be an interesting player, seeing how
Mhm.
they get the ball to him. Maybe a Jalen Rager. I know you like him a lot from TCU.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, who is just a nasty dude, man. His tape is special. He's 0 to 100 fast. And there's bigger fellas like Denzel Mims and T Higgins.
Hmm.
Those all would be kind of at that 30 pick and around there, maybe early second if they trade back a little bit. But if
Yeah.
they wait a little bit, maybe they go back to the Kentucky and go with the same school of Randall Cobb and get a guy Lynn Bowden,
Hmm.
who I believe Bowden Jr. Sorry,
Yeah.
and I believe that he would add an element that they just really a multiple element. I don't know. It's the interesting part would to see how they would implement him
Hmm.
and implement a player like that because they really don't have any like that at this point. So they kind of use Aaron Jones in a multiple sets, and I think he's better maybe with less wear on him. So
Yeah.
maybe they
Yeah.
bring in someone else that can get some carries, catch some quick passes, just kind of make Rodgers' job easier so that he can kind of put on the Superman cape later in the game and doesn't have the full weight of the whole team earlier in the game.
Yeah. Man, I think Jalen Rager would be an interesting pick, simply because of how fast he is, man. And I can't really remember the last time the Packers really just had like a true speed demon on their team. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? For a long time. So yeah, that would be interesting. Also, another thing, I think we talk frequently about Laviska Shenault. I think like Laviska Shenault would be a perfect kind of like he's a perfect like what you describe as like a weapon, like a slot guy, because he's a receiver, like he's like a how do I say this? He's like he's a receiver, but he's almost built like a running back and how big and physical he is, and like he's just a real physical freak. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
6'2",
similar
220.
similar to like a Debo Samuels.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, man, I think that they're in a good place. They're picking in the good part of the draft where if they need that, it's good value. Like they're not reaching and they're I feel like, but at the same time, if guys like that slip, like you said, they also can trade back early into the second and maybe get someone who they really like. Even and maybe even pick up a pick too. So yeah, man.
Yeah, on defense is the next place, and I think the biggest thing they need is a slot corner, kind of a DB that's multiple in what
Hmm.
they can do.
Yeah.
And there's a value there at 62 or even 94 where they could pick up a quality guy. Like one of the guys that's like kind of on the top of my list and who I really like in this draft is a guy, undersized guy out of Louisiana Tech named Amik Robertson. He
Okay.
has he has some similar characteristics. I know this is maybe a little too much, but similar characteristics to Tyrann Mathieu.
Okay.
He kind of plays bigger than his size, just makes plays, always around the ball. So that's one guy that I see. Another guy is Josiah Scott,
Hmm.
out of I believe Louisiana Tech as well. So it's two guys there, it's smaller corners, can kind of get the job done. They go for a guy like Javaris Davis from Auburn, who's, again, a smaller guy, but has experience playing all over the field and can kind of help Mike Pettin disguise some of his schemes the way he likes to in coverage.
Yeah.
After that, you can maybe go for, if they fancy a bigger slot, they go Damon Arnett out of Ohio State, who's big physical, gets the job done, good ball skills, able to really take advantage of his size a lot of times, has experience with bigger teams. This is John Reed is another guy from Penn State who's another big corner that plays inside. So there's plenty of options in the middle rounds, so they don't have to necessarily jump up to get that guy. The little thing that's kind of floating with this around this team is, what if a quarterback that they like falls to them at 30, similar to like how Rodgers fell to them. And as the name that's been floated is a Jordan Love. I don't personally think that he'd get all the way down to 30, but who knows? Maybe he drops there and they pounce on it. I think it's more at this point. It would almost be malpractice for that if they were to do that. But you know what? If they love the guy, they love the guy. There is one last position, and I'm going to see if you can guess what it is on defense, what they need to fix.
I guess inside linebacker.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, they really need and this is probably one of the easier positions to fill just because there's a ton of them. It's more of a downhill linebacker that comes down and really hits you on early downs and plays the run well. Guys like Cal's Evan Weaver or Purdue's Marcus Bailey. Those are that's the last hole that they really need, and it's more of a situational player because you're in nickel about 75% of the time anyway. So I don't know how much these guys will play, but it's in a position that is in need. So, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to use all 3 picks they have, and we're going to fix it, and the Packers are going to the Super Bowl.
Right. I know that would make a lot of.
Not for my kid. I hope they don't, but
yeah,
they could.
They could, yeah. They can run the ball. They have a lot of talent. You know what I mean? So yeah, who knows? Yeah, man. Wow, you caught me off. You caught me off guard with the Super Bowl shit. But yeah, man, they have so many bright spots. I know.
It's Aaron Rodgers, so it's always an option.
They have so many bright spots on offense. I mean, on offense and defense with those young running backs they have. El Paso native Aaron Jones, and then on defense, Jair Alexander. You know what I mean? So, and Kenny Clark, who nobody really talks about that much, at least,
Yeah, I know you have a special relationship with him.
That's not true. Anyway.
You love your big nose tackles.
Bro, man, what the hell is going on here? Anyway, yeah, man. So yeah, bro. I mean, I can see them. I see them winning. Man, I see them winning 12 games. You know what I mean? What do you think?
You hit it right in the head. That's why I got 12-4.
12-4. Yeah. So, man, I wish I had a little one of those damn Wisconsin cheesehead things, bro. For this episode.
That's right. It's in the mail.
Right. I need to have a P.O. box set up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
all your stuff sent to you.
Yeah. So, man, yeah, bro. So, any other things you want to say about them?
I think that's about it. Packers are going to have a hell of a year as long as they stay healthy. I mean, I think the one issue that they need to address is nothing to do with personnel. It's their coaching, and they kind of had a lot of trouble last year in second half adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not all. I think adding more offensive weapons will help, and adding more pieces and coverage might help. But it's really going to come down to the coaches and their ability to change and ability to adapt. And that's kind of one thing that they struggled with last year, despite going 13-3, which kind of makes it scary that there might be an even higher ceiling for this team if they were able to adapt to the game and kind of change. So it'll be interesting to see. That's one thing to look at. They were really bad in terms of second half scoring, I think the stat was. So it'll be a fun year for the Packers though, and that's kind of nitpicking with the second half stuff, but they should be good as long as they go skill position.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all right, y'all. So this is the Rays and Glaze podcast. I'm Leo Rays Rayon.
Josh Glazer.
And we're out, man. Peace. Thank y'all.
We are on to Minnesota.
Right.